All right, guys, part number 3, and we're going to tackle the next 5 problems. If you take a look at question number 11, we have a scale drawing that represents a real-life object. Remember, scale drawings usually are used to represent something that is large and lifelike in person that can't be represented on paper or put on paper. So this is a scale drawing of a skyscraper, and the key is the most important information in my mind. 1 inch equals 10 meters. So if you were to measure this small little scale, as you can see, it's 14 inches. And so basically, let's say that's 1 inch right here. This is 1 inch. What that represents in real life is 10 meters. Okay? Well, as you can see, this this drawing represents a lifelike, real object, a skyscraper. And so every 1 inch is 10 meters. Well, if you have 14 inches, that basically means 14 times 10. Very simple. And as you can see, I know we're not very familiar with meters, but let's just say this were miles. Well, it'd be 1 inch for every 10 miles. Well, in that case, it's 140 meters or miles. So B is the correct answer. One of the things that I think is really most important is really think about the relationship between a small object and a real life object. This was very similar to the Steph Curry lesson that we did where we compared a bobblehead to a real life Steph Curry. Okay? Question number 12 is another problem that relates to scale. What they're doing is they are comparing length and width of a room. And obviously, you guys have probably seen maps representing drawings or objects. We actually have drawings sometimes that represent the buildings around our school. And they're probably represented in scale, or states are represented in scale. You're using your finger to measure North Carolina on a piece of paper, a map, and your finger represents, let's say, 300 miles. So 1 finger equals 300 miles. Well, the relationship or scale ratio here is 1 centimeter every 3 inches. Well, if they tell you that it's 1 centimeter to 3 inches, well, basically what they're asking you is, hey, what is 20 centimeters then? Well, in that case, you can see that it is 60 inches. So there was a 1 to 3 ratio, meaning for every 1 centimeter, it's 3 inches. Well, guess what? 20 centimeters is going to equal 60. And you can see that as a ratio, or you could basically say 1/3 is equal to what? And so basically, as you guys know, the x is the unknown. 1/3 is equivalent to 20 over what? And obviously that would be 20/60. So x is 60, a is 60. Okay. Let's now take a look at question number 13. A triangle has a 60-degree angle and 3 sides that are measured for 4 centimeters in length. As you guys know, a triangle can be analyzed in 2 ways. By its angles or by its measurement, okay? So its length. And here they say that all 3 sides are 4 centimeters. So that means that the length of all 3 sides are equivalent or equal. And that clearly shows you that this triangle must be equilateral. What it does say is obviously, or you have to imply, if one angle is 60, well, the other really 2 options, because these lengths are equal, the only way that it's going to equal 180 with the same numbers is 60. As you guys know, 6 times 3 is 18, so 60 times 3 is 180. And so, yes, B is the correct answer. If you move on and don't look at options A, C, D, E, and F, you probably are going to miss out on some points and get this problem incorrect. One of the things that's tricky, as you guys know, acute means less than 90, so 89 and below. Yes, those are acute angles. So if you didn't really think about it, D is also a correct answer. And last but not least, F. If the other 2 angles of the triangle are 60, the 60, 60, and 60 are 180. So once again, when you see more than 4 possible answers, the odds are, if you have 5 possible choices or 6, they're going to ask you to select a few different possible answers. And I know that's frustrating as a student. Sometimes they make these tests really difficult. Question number 14, a triangle has two angles which measure of 90 and 30 degrees. The side across from the 90-degree angle has a length of 5 inches. So you have one angle labeled, another angle labeled, and the side across. Remember, we talked about opposite, vertical, and in this case, it is 5 inches. The other two, or actually 3 representations, do not identify this description. We do have 90, but we don't have a 30-degree angle there. We do have a 30, but we don't have the 90 there. And yes, there is a 90 and 30 there, but it's not across. The 5 is at that base. 15 and 16 are going to be tough. What I would recommend doing, using your pencil on scratch paper, draw these things out. Really think about these problems. Unfortunately, you're going to kind of have to think about real life objects, and we don't have that realia there in front of you when you are taking a test, but just draw a representation just like the picture or the diagram, and think about what they're asking. Obviously, you can't get a triangle or a pentagon from a quadrilateral, meaning a square or a rectangle. And so that pretty much, with process of elimination, will give you an odds of at least selecting one of the 2 correct answers. But as you can see, 15 has 2 possible answers. Another tough problem that asks you for 2 correct answers. 16 actually, guys, is probably frustrating as a teacher and as a student. They require 3 correct answers out of the 4. So the only incorrect answer on problem number 16 is D. 17 is a give me. As you guys know, a right angle is 90 degrees. They're not going to tell you a right angle is 90 degrees. They may also not tell you that a complementary angle is 90 degrees. They may just assume that you know what a supplementary angle is. 2 angles that equal 180. Complementary, obviously 2 angles equal 90. So this is a complementary angle or a 90-degree right angle. And so what you have to do is you have to add up these 2 equations to represent or to equal 90 degrees. And so this is going to use your linear expression knowledge. And remember, we talked about like terms. 3x plus 5x is 8x. And then you are going to add 10, or the 10 is there. And what does this equal? Well, these 2 angles equal 90 degrees. So basically what we have right now is 8x plus 10 equals 90. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take away 10 from both sides, 10 degrees, and 8x equals 80. So basically, looking at this right now, sorry, I made that incorrect. As you can see this right now, 8 times a number equals 80. So 8 times 10 equals 80. So x equals 10. Or you could obviously solve by dividing both sides by 8, and x is equal to 10. So we're not done yet. Basically what they're saying is, what is the angle of CBD? If you know x is 10, then you are going to multiply 10 times 5, and that is 50 degrees. There will be a problem like this. There will be different numbers. However, remember, you are adding these 2 angles together to equal a 90-degree or right angle. They could also basically show you 3 angles, and then obviously in this case, these 3 angles, A, B, and let's just call this F, that's a 90-degree angle. And then this is 3x plus 10, and this is 5x. These 3 angles, when adding them up, would equal 180, and then you have to solve for x. Okay, I think I'm going to stop this video and move to 18, 19, and 20 in the following video. But once again, to summarize these strategies, I would probably just say take your time, really think about what they're asking, and as you can see from 15 and 16, even questions that have 4 answers may require multiple answers. It hurts, I know, but you'll do great, guys. Just take your time.